Hi third graders, it's Miss Greer. Congratulations. If you are watching this video, it means you have made it to the Einstein level of Balance It. The two things you will need today are your Balance It packet, opened up to the Einstein level, and a pencil. If you're watching this video, it's because you are looking for some tips on how to solve some of these problems. So I'm not going to solve them for you, but I am going to give you some help. Let's take a look at number 1. How many ounces does Luke's rat weigh? And I see, this is a pretty important word, ounces. Because on the left side of my board, I have a ½ pound, a 1/4 pound, and an 1/8 pound. I know that the rat equals these things all added together, but it's asking me about ounces. I see, though, that Einstein is here with a helpful tip. Remember to always pay attention to his tips. He tells us to remember that there are 16 ounces in a pound. Okay, I'm going to write that down. 16 ounces equals 1 pound. And remember, we've talked about how LB is the abbreviation for pound. Okay, so if 16 ounces are in 1 pound, a ½ pound would be half of 16, which would be 8 ounces. If a ½ pound is 8 ounces, a 1/4 of a pound would be, well, that's the next step. See if you can figure out how many ounces a 1/4 and an 1/8 of a pound would be. Let's look at number 2. How much weight would you add to the left side to make the board balance? Over here we have 4 3/8 pounds. On the right side we have 6 1/4 pounds. Ooh, I can see why this is an Einstein one. So I need to know the difference between 6 1/4 and 4 3/8. How much would I need to add? Well, I know that if I have 3/8, which remember 3/8 are my tan rectangle, if I want to make it to a whole, I would need to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more eighths. So I'm going to write down that 5/8 would bring me up to 5 pounds if I added 5/8. I need to get to 6 1/4. To go from 5 pounds to 6 1/4 pounds, how much would I need to add? Well, 1 1/4. So see if you can combine 1 1/4 with 5/8. That's tricky. Use your fraction pieces. Let's look at number 3. How many ounces need to be added to the left side to balance the board? Ooh, this is a trick question. Einstein's trying to trick us again because the question asks us about ounces, but both of our labels are in pounds. So I have 1 7/8 pounds, 2 1/8 pounds. Third graders, what you're going to want to do is first figure out how many pounds to add to this side and then turn it into ounces. So for example, to go from 1 7/8 pounds to 2 pounds, we would need to add another 1/8 of a pound. That would bring us up to 2. Then to go up to 2 1/8, we would need 1 more 1/8 of a pound. So if you can figure out how many ounces that is, you're on the right track. Here's your tip for number 4. How many pounds must you add to the left side to balance the scale? And I see the right side has a new fraction, 1/2000th. of a ton? Oh, tons. I see Einstein with a helpful tip. Remember that there are 2,000 pounds in a ton. I'm going to write that down. 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So what would 1/2,000th of a ton be equal to? Think about that. See if you can figure it out. And lastly, number 5. How many pints do you need to place on the left side to balance the scale? Oh, I see pints on the left, gallons on the right. But here comes Einstein with another helpful tip. He says, did you know that there are 4 quarts in a gallon and 2 pints in a quart? This is sounding to me like it's a problem that's going to require more than one step. So if I have gallons, first I want to figure out how many quarts that would be equal to. Then once I have quarts, I can figure out how many pints that would be equal to. Once I know how many pints are on this side of the scale, I'll be able to figure out how many I need to add to 1 to balance it. Give it a try. Good luck.